Now, if you watched the previous video on the lesson held in love, I asked you to write down the name of someone that you wanted to pray for, and I invite you to pull that name out now. If you didn't see the video, just call to mind someone that you would like to pray for. And here's how to approach intercessory prayer as a means of communion with God and with one another through the Holy Spirit. First, intend to be with the person you're praying for, to be with them and their situation. Open your heart to their experiences and allow yourself to be present to their joy or their sorrow. The second thing is to be aware of yourself and your relationship with them. So as you think of this other person, it may call to mind your own feelings about them in your relationship. Maybe they're feelings of fear or frustration, envy or bitterness. The point is not to ignore how their situation might be affecting you, but to be honest. Now, don't let this part 2 distract you from the fact that you're praying for this other person, but it's really important to be aware of your relationship with them as you lift them up before God, because you are indeed engaging in communion with them in a meaningful relationship. Finally, be present to God with them. So hold this person in love before God. Maybe even just imagine yourself holding the name of this person or holding this person in front of God. And as you experience the communion that God allows us to have through the Holy Spirit, allow your requests to flow from there. Spend whatever time in prayer in this holy communion of intercessory prayer, as much time as you feel you need. And one helpful way to close this time of prayer and to bookend it and just to know that you're done is simply to say the Lord's Prayer. And when you do this, you can place emphasis on the our in the Our Father. This is a group prayer, if you notice, and so as you're closing your intercessory prayer time, pray the Lord's Prayer with a sense that you are continuing to be in communion with the person that you're praying for. Now, you can pray a prayer of intercession at any time. You can connect it with any of the other prayers that we have been practicing, the prayer of intention, the prayer of examine, as someone is called to mind in the course of your day. You can engage in this form of intercessory prayer. Now, perhaps you want to make a practice of doing it at a particular time each day so that the people who are important to you, you can share communion with them in this time of prayer. The last thing that I'll say is it's possible that as you engage in this prayer, things come to mind about ways that you might actually interact with them when you see them, or ways that God might be calling you to respond as you hold them in communion. Pay attention to that. Maybe God's leading you not only to pray for them, but also to enact God's love toward them in new ways. I know that happens to me a lot when I'm praying for someone in this way, and God calls to mind how I might engage and act out the prayers that I'm offering. I hope this helps you engage more deeply in intercessory prayer as a means of communion with God. And if you'd like to learn more about this prayer series or about Chestnut Grove, if you'd like some help or partnership in your spiritual journey, please feel free to contact the church. You can call the church office or send an email to connect@chestnutgrovechurch.net.